Calpurnia is not the Finn Wolfhard show, by any means, so of course the Stranger Things star is doing press with the entire band to hype the release of its debut EP, Scout. Discerning who's who within the teenaged quartet over the phone is an absolute nightmare, though. Calpurnia's sole female member, 17-year-old lead guitarist and co-vocalist Ayla Tesler jokes going in that hers sounds very similar to everyone else's voices, and she's totally right, so advance apologies to any and all parties who might be misidentified in the piece that follows. I'm only human. This video is a look into a day in the studio working on our record with Kadian, filmed and edited by our now great buddy Josiah Marshall. Hopefully this video can convey how much fun this whole experience was for all of us, and that this music is really just the product of a bunch of friends who love music coming together to create something. We also want to thank Jason Barthel for creating the character you see here in this video, and who you might see more of soon. Lastly, thank you to Martin McPherson for making our videos so much more colorful with his animation. This truly has been a team effort, and there is no team of truly talented individuals we'd rather be working with. In any case, Calpurnia is a gang of friends, first and foremost, so it makes sense that singer, guitarist Wolfhard, Tesler bassist Jack Anderson and drummer Malcolm Craig are in the habit of finishing each other's sentences and cracking each other up with well-worn inside jokes, and generally sounding like a single hive mind. What Calpurnia doesn't sound like is the logical musical creation of two 15-year-olds and two 17-year-olds jamming together in 2018. On the summary Scout, the four Vancouverites mostly evoke acts their boomer-age grandparents probably grew up listening to: The Beatles, the band, Let It Bleed-era Rolling Stones, Dylan at his scrappiest, and Lou Reed, whose circuitous guitar stylings you can hear in ramblin' tunes like City Boy, but who also inspired the not terribly Lou-like single, Louie, with the odd nod here and there to the soft psych jangle of Big Star on the young end of the influences list. We all just listen to music that we enjoy, and luckily we kind of all enjoy the same broad spectrum. And a lot of it is quite older, you know, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, concurs Anderson, 17. I'm not saying that today's music is bad. There's a lot of really good stuff coming out today, but I think we all enjoy the sound of older times. Article continued below. I think what's amazing about the chemistry of this group is we've never really sat down and defined what we wanted to sound like, adds Wolfhard, 15. It just came together naturally and organically from the coming together of all our different styles and influences. It is what it is, and as our style evolves I would like to think that we won't lose that natural, organic sound that we have where it's just like, oh, this is what we sound like. Calpurnia has not been overly thought out, which, given the promising pop caliber of the 6 tunes on Scout, bodes well for the future. They're only just figuring themselves out. Wolfhard met Craig during a video shoot for Toronto pop-punk group Up's Guilt Trip single in 2014, and the two started playing music together, soon after roping in Tesler and Anderson, who have known each other since grade 2, through friendly connections and a shared love of Chicago indie rockers Twin Peaks, whose frontman Kadian Lake James eventually wound up producing the new EP. Their first gig was on a lark for a charity event, but by the end of last summer Calpurnia had a bunch of original songs ready to go and realized they were actually a band. We just started jamming together and hanging out, and I really enjoyed their company, says Tesler. These guys are all the first people I've ever jammed with, pretty much. And now we're in a band together. From left, Ayla Tesler, Malcolm Craig, Finn Wolfhard and Jack Anderson want to make it clear that Calpurnia is not Stranger Things the band. They've been playing together since before the Netflix hit was a thing. having a frontman with a prominent role in 2 going on 3 seasons of the Netflix sci-fi phenomenon Stranger Things and last year's smash hit cinematic adaptation of Stephen King's It hasn't hurt Calpurnia's visibility, but the band is keeping it low-key and signed to small Toronto indie imprint Royal Mountain Records, Alphas, U.S. Girls, Mac DeMarco, for Scout rather than going the major label route that might have presented itself due to Wolfhard's growing stardom. He'd certainly prefer to keep that side of his life out of it as much as possible. Article continued below, we would like to think that the more we go out and do our thing and just write songs and show that we just genuinely love playing in a band together and love writing music, people will see that it's not some sort of ploy, he says. It's all genuine. We just love what we're doing. It's not Stranger Things, the band, offers Anderson. Yeah, I've been playing with these guys since way before Stranger Things was a thing, says Wolfhard. Work on the coming Stranger Things season and other obligations such as, you know, high school graduation. I finish school on the day the record comes out, so that's kinda cool. Pros Anderson will keep Calpurnia's touring obligations in support of Scouts and scattered, as Wolfhard puts it, for now. The band will play a couple of Canadian dates this summer, however, hitting Montreal's Osheaga Festival in August. And the Royal Mountain Music Festival at Hamilton's Raspberry Farm on Sept. 2. After that, who knows? The band already has a ton of songs in the works for a full-length and, being of a certain youthful vintage, literally the rest of the band's lives to figure out where they can take Calpurnia. I've said this before, but I guess our musical tastes are like a 4-way Venn diagram where they all kind of intersect a lot in the middle, but then we all have our outside influences, says Anderson. Like, Ayla's really into jazz, Malcolm and Finn really like punk, I really like prog. So certain influences come into it. The rhythm guitar from punk you can kinda hear on some of our tracks, the mellotron from prog you can hear on some of our tracks, and some of the progressions we have are kinda jazz influenced. So it's really cool being able to pull from such a broad spectrum of musical ideas. So can we expect Calpurnia's difficult second album to be a prog opus? The suggestion meets with whoops of laughter down the line and protestation, probably not for the first time, from Anderson. What? I love prog. Also a little bit of nu metal in there, offers Wolfhard. Hexagonal Snowflakes will be the name of the prog record. I think that's a good prog name, concludes Anderson. And it's called Hexagonal Snowflakes because it's a 6 LP record.